The 1950s Science Fiction Podcast, Season 2, Episode 6, Comic Review, Kenton of the Star Patrol. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I hope my show has been interesting to you so far, and you are a returning listener. Today's topic is Kenton of the Star Patrol. I discussed this pre-code comic hero who appeared in Strange Worlds comics in the early 50s, in Episode 3, Season 1 of the podcast. I will look at some of his stories and review each one. I recently downloaded a compilation of adventures in the Digital Comic Museum. This will be my source material. The Corsairs of the Coal Sack. The first adventure of Kenton of the Star Patrol appeared in the Avon comic Strange Worlds, published in November of 1950. Kenton of the Star Patrol was the first story of issue number 1 of Strange Worlds, created and written by John B. Mitchell and drawn by Joe Kubert and Carmine Infantino. The protagonist is a space opera type hero in the vein of Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon. The story introduces the reader to Kenton and the future setting he resides. An introduction in the lower right of the first panel. I mentioned this in my previous podcast on comics. It goes like this. The atomic bombs that fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 were the opening thunders of the atomic era, culminating in the 1962 rocket landing on the moon. In 1977, a man set foot on Mars. A century later, on Alpha Centauri, the nearest star, by 3750, many star clusters had been explored. Their planetary systems joined the Earth Federation. To police this vast area of billions of miles of empty space, to guard the treasure-laden cargo spacers, the Space Patrol was born. Kenton is at a hotel where he receives his orders to operate undercover against space-faring pirates from the Coalsack region of outer space, hence the name of the story. He explains his assignment to a female employee. Kenton has struck up a relationship with her and feels trustworthy toward her. Kenton believes that his superiors think that he can succeed where others have failed by going undercover. However, the trusted friend brandishes a pistol and demands that Kenton hand over his identification. Kenton refuses her orders and then is shot. But it's not deadly, it only renders him unconscious. Kenton regains consciousness sometime later and reports the incident to his superiors. He is strongly reprimanded and discharged from the Star Patrol. Despite the circumstances, Kenton decides to go it alone. Kenton steals a rocket ship and heads off to the pirate's homeworld. Once there, he sees someone very familiar to him, the female bellhop who previously shot him with knockout gas. He discovers that she now works as a dancer in a tavern frequented by the pirates. She gives Kenton a note to meet with her after work in the back alley of the establishment. Kenton decides to meet with her. They meet each other in the back alleyway, and Kenton expresses how angry he is with her, even though she is grateful for his presence there. The young woman introduces herself as Maeve Mallory, a space reporter working for an unnamed newspaper. Yes, they still have newspapers in the future. Mallory explains to Kenton that she was working on finding the location of the Corsairs' home planet for her employer when she attacked him. She used his identification papers to travel to their home world and is now trapped there. She has learned where the pirates keep their force field generator. Maeve takes Kenton to its location and using a ray pistol confiscated from a guard, he starts to destroy everything in sight. But Kenton's use of force is short-lived when more Corsairs storm the room and capture him. They take him prisoner and hold him in a dungeon-like jail. While Kenton awaits execution in the dungeon, The Star Patrol raise the planet and frees Kenton. Kenton managed to sabotage the force field generator long enough to allow the Star Patrol to get through. Later, Kenton is reinstated to the patrol and promoted to the rank of captain for his heroic efforts. My thoughts. Kenton of the Star Patrol is a juvenile science fiction adventure series that provides an escapist fantasy for its readers. Contained in the story are the dashing hero and the damsel in distress. It was not uncommon for the time to see this type of formula used in storytelling. The comic is well drawn and inked with good lifelike characters. The comic is an easy read as well. However, the comic is a product of its time and was produced as cheaply as possible. I enjoyed reading the comic and the artwork was excellent. Since it was a pre-code comic, there was more mature content than you would see until the adaptation of the comic's code. By today's standards, it would be acceptable.
Hello, Edward German here. I wanted to take a few moments to talk to you about Anchor FM. I am a first-time podcaster and needed resources to get started. I found this through Anchor FM. Anchor provides a platform to use and will distribute your podcast for free. Not only will it appear on Anchor, but also on other platforms as well, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many others. It is easy to get started. All you need to do is to download the Anchor app to your computer, smartphone, or tablet. Then get started creating your podcast on Anchor. You can record your podcast right from your computer or smartphone using the app. No other equipment is required. Just use what you already have. Also, you have creator tools that will allow you to edit, add music, and effects to your podcast, all for free. One of the best things about Anchor, aside from being free, is you can make money from podcasting on Anchor with no minimum listenership at all. Everything you need happens right here in one place at anchorf.fm. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM and get started.
Now to the next comic. The Alien Raiders. Keaton's next adventure takes him to the uranium mines on one of Saturn's moons. Aliens are raiding the moon for its ore and taking humans prisoner. No one knows why, and the Star Patrol wants answers. Kenton receives a request to investigate the raiders by going undercover as a convict laborer. The second story, called The Alien Raiders, was published in issue 3 of Strange Worlds comic in June of 1951. Wally Wood worked as a principal artist for the Star Patrol segment. The story is set within Earth's solar system on Titan, one of Saturn's moons. An alien spaceship approaches Titan and uses a freeze ray to immobilize the security guards. Once they're out of the way, the aliens, aided by their robots, proceed to take as much ore and prisoners as they want. The raids continue as the Star Patrol desperately defends Saturn's moons, even to the point where patrol ships are destroyed in battle. Keaton's undercover assignment requires him to disguise himself as a convict laborer. He is transported to one of the mines to work like the rest of the prisoners. Kenton remarks how physically fit he is while working under the mine's harsh conditions. The rest of the miners are not so lucky. Even in the future, convicts are subject to severe conditions. Not long after his arrival, the raiders attack the mine Kenton is working. He pretends to be unconscious and when taken aboard the raiders' spaceship. Once inside, he sneaks around the ship and discovers more information about the raiders. Kenton learns about the raiders' plans to conquer Earth and its origins. The aliens have a special learning machine that implants knowledge instantly into the brain. After Kenton uses the device, he learns the alien raiders are from another galaxy and are using Pluto as a base. They need to use uranium ore for atomic weapons to use on Earth, thus the need for the raids on Titan. Kenton also discovers another fact. The aliens are silicon-based life forms. He is completing his research, and an alien guard discovers him and tries to stop him. However, Kenton escapes from the ship and wanders around the city of Pluto where the ship has landed. He manages to find the city's air conditioning system and proceeds to increase the heat. Kenton raises the temperature so high that he almost dies from dehydration. In the aftermath, the inhabitants crystallize and die. Conclusion. The second story of the series was well written and fast paced. However, the first story, Kenton went undercover, there was no damsel in distress. The artwork was well drawn for its time. The only thing that troubled me was that he killed all the alien inhabitants in the city. Did Kenton commit genocide? I hope not. This wraps it up for this podcast. I only covered the first two stories of the series. I will cover more in future shows. I hope to return sometime soon with a great topic. Please feel free to give me feedback at any time. Follow me on Twitter at EdwardGerman3 and on Instagram at Shutterbug1681. Edward German 3 is spelled at capital E, then lowercase uppercase E, then lowercase d, W-A-R-D, then uppercase G, lowercase E-R-M-A-N 3 on Twitter. On Instagram, I'm simply Shutterbug1681. Thank you for listening.